India is primarily agriculture dependent, which employs the major share of workforce. When seen in numbers, agriculture gives employment to 42.6% of total workable population, but unfortunately contributes only 16.8% to India's GDP. When compared to industries, which employs 25.1% of total workable population, contributes 25.9% to India's GDP, and service sector, which employs 32.3% of total workable population, contributes 47.5% to India's GDP. This shows India's inability to pull workers out of the farm sector. When these sectors' figures are compared to 5 richest and 5 poorest economies of G20, a peculiar figure comes out. The richest G20 economies have deployed less than 3% of their workforce for agriculture, and as such, the agriculture does not have any significant contribution to the country's economy. On the other hand, the poorest economies of G20 have a significant portion of their workforce doing agriculture, but none of those economies come near to India's number. In terms of industries, the number of both richest and the poorest G20 nations are comparable. The number vary between 20 to 40% for both workforce deployed and share in country's GDP. The service industry is where the richest G20 nations and the poorer G20 nations who invest less in agriculture takes the edge. These nations invest more than 50% of their manpower in this industry and generate maximum GDP from here. But why does India, a nation with such huge potential, invest so much in agriculture, even when it does not add up to the GDP as much as the other sectors? Let's first understand that why the output from the agriculture is low. India has almost reached the level where more expansion in cultivable area is not possible. But the population is growing and will remain growing for next couple of decades. Even though land to human ratio in India is better compared to some of the developed countries like Japan, Netherlands, Belgium and even China. Other factors like low yield and low levels of industrialization in India compound the problem of population pressure on agricultural land. The average size of landholding in India in 2001 was less than 2 hectares. 1/4 of the total rural households own less than 0.4 hectare each, while other 1/4 are landless. This creates difficulties in application of modern inputs, adaptation of scientific land improvement, water conservation, and plant protection measures, and in introducing mechanized operations. These measures alone are capable of securing and stabilizing high yields. Tardy process of land reforms in most states has compounded this problem. Consolidation of land can help improve productivity. With more than half of the gross cropped area being rain-fed, failure or inadequacy of rain causes fluctuation in yields. Even if the maximum irrigation potential is realized, around 86.5 million hectares of gross cropped area will remain under rain-fed conditions. This underlines the need to develop rain-fed agriculture on scientific lines. Indian agriculture is subsistence in nature. That is, most of the produce is directly consumed by the producers and surplus, if any, is sold into the market, which is generally low. This is because most Indian farmers, being poor, use outdated technology and are not able to afford costly inputs. This results in meager incomes, which in turn means low savings and low level of reinvestments. Thus, a vicious cycle operates and stagnation in agriculture prevails. Degradation of soil is a serious problem, which leads to the depletion of soil fertility. Soil erosion is the main form of degradation which occurs because of deforestation and unscientific agriculture practices like shifting cultivation, increasing salinity, alkalinity, and aridity. Because of mismanagement and repeated use are other reasons for loss of soil fertility. Lack of support services refers to the institutional supports like support pricing, marketing, and credit facilities. These services help create a favorable environment to induce a spirit of entrepreneurship among farmers by absorbing the risk involved in the agricultural activities. These services are particularly inadequate in case of coarse cereals and pulses. India has an underdeveloped agricultural infrastructure and institutions. Conditions of poverty and deprivation and unequal distribution of land resources hamper the evolution of an agricultural entrepreneur class. An underdeveloped agricultural sector on account of low productivity is the main reason for low level of diversification of the economy. A buoyant agriculture sector has been basis of industrial development in the developed countries. So we come back to the same question. Why India has a huge workforce doing agriculture? Answer being, fertile lands, demand for food due to huge population, availability of water through rivers and monsoon, and lack of literacy, making farmers prefer agriculture as they have learned the skill needed from their ancestors, making them comfortable. Further, there is a lack of jobs in secondary and tertiary sectors, which further requires the person to learn or acquire specific skills to do them. The Green Revolution gave a boost to agricultural production, increasing the production of wheat from 11 million tons to 75 million tons and that of rice from 35 million tons to 90 million tons between 1960 to 2000s. However, owing to the size of population of this country, this production is considered as low. Hence, there is a dire need to improve the farming practices and developing the support system for agriculture, which will eventually reduce the number of people needed for agriculture. Further, engaging this surplus workforce in secondary and tertiary sectors like industries and services will help in the growth story of India. This will help India economically by increasing its GDP. Are you related to farming in any way? Do let me know in the comments. This is all for today's episode. I hope that you have liked it. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more of such videos. See you in the next episode. Till then, take care.